Today, dear soul, the angels are leaning their wings over you, and the sky whispers truths that have been hidden in the folds of time. There is someone who carries your name in their heart like a silent prayer. What was once just a timid thought now overflows in this person's heart like a river that no longer wants to hold back its current. You were placed on their path with a purpose that goes beyond what the eyes can see. The angels say, she is the answer to a question that this soul didn't even know it was asking. Your meeting was not an accident. It was not an illusion. It was the seal of something ancient. A promise made in the wings of the universe, even before you donned this skin. Perhaps you have never heard it, but she recognized you the moment she saw you. Not for your gestures, nor for your voice, but for the vibration you carry. It's as if something inside her had quieted, as if for a second, the world stopped spinning, and everything finally made sense. This person, yes, the one who keeps crossing your mind in the most unexpected moments, is going through a process of internal revelation. She feels the urgency to say what she has always kept quiet. And it's not just about love, it's about recognition. It's about seeing in you the most beautiful reflection of what she never had the courage to be. You were light on a road where everything was shadow. Without promising anything, you offered your presence. Without demanding, you gave tenderness. And that dismantled the defenses of this soul. The angels whisper, she feels that you are the beginning of the healing. Not of a relationship, but of an entire existence. It may be that this person is still in silence. It may be that pride, fear, or confusion is preventing them from approaching right now. But know this, something inside them is crumbling. Not out of weakness, but out of clarity. They are finally listening to the call that comes from their own soul. You represent more than words can express. You represent a return to what is pure. You are a reminder of what is true, and that is frightening. Because loving someone like you also means having to confront everything they have never been. And the angels confirm, this love is not meant to be understood, it is meant to be felt. It does not follow logic or human rules. It simply is. And it is alive, even in silence. It is pulsing in the lines between each of their thoughts. This is the time for their spirit to open up to what they have long tried to deny. And you, without needing to move, are already at the center of this movement. Because your soul speaks, even when you are silent. And the language of your essence touches where words could never reach. And then when they finally speak, and they will, it will not be an ordinary confession. It will be a surrender. It will be like someone kneeling before something they understand to be greater than any plan or resistance. You were sent by God. And the divine presence within you is so palpable that this person felt it without understanding. And now, they understand without knowing how to explain. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You need to know that the angels are not revealing this moment to you by chance. They speak when the heart is mature enough to receive truths that the world dares not utter. And this is one of them. What prevents this person from coming to you is not a lack of love. It is the depth of what they feel. Yes, there are barriers. But they weren't built by you. They were erected long ago, like walls of protection against pains that no one could see. This person who occupies so much of your silence, and your dreams, carries with her an invisible burden, filled with memories that still burn. She bears scars that she learned to hide with smiles and rationalizations. She has survived absences that taught her not to expect, losses that taught her not to trust. The angels say, she wants to love you. But love is still a foreign language to her wounded heart. And that's why she hesitates, contradicts herself, pulls away. It's not you. It's the struggle between the desire to surrender and the fear of disappearing in that dive. This person has learned not to rely on anyone, to be self-sufficient, to be strong. But the truth is, inside, she is exhausted from all that strength. And when she sees you, so whole, so radiant, something breaks. Because you represent the opposite of what she was forced to be, vulnerable, surrendered, alive. Your presence reveals the absence she feels of herself. Your lightness disturbs her because it exposes the weight she carries. Your love lays bare the lack she pretended not to have. And that is not easy to accept. Maybe you think you should do more, show more, insist. But the angels ask that you just be. Because it is by being who you are, without forcing, without demanding, that you are gradually healing the fear within her. It is this silent love, this affection that requires nothing, that is softening the ice she has placed over her own heart. This person is in process. The angels show visions of her alone, looking inward, missing what she has never experienced. She thinks of you in the most mundane moments. And in those memories, she realizes how much you already mean home. But she still fights. Against her own history. Against the beliefs that say love doesn't last, that every act of giving turns into abandonment, that every bond transforms into pain. She tries to escape, but always returns. Because her soul has already recognized yours. And that kind of recognition is impossible to erase. So, don't doubt the impact you've had. And still have. Every gesture of yours, every word, every time you chose to stay instead of giving up. All of it is echoing within her. Perhaps in silence, perhaps without a response. But it echoes. The angels say, the healing is happening in the invisible. And it's not up to you to rush this time. It's only your job to trust. She is preparing herself. She is trying to understand how to love someone like you, without losing herself, without breaking, without repeating old fears. And that requires courage. And she is trying to find it. There is a love in gestation within that soul. And you are the light that warms it. Even without realizing it. As this soul matures in silence, you are also called to turn inward. Because the love that transforms another begins, always, with the love that embraces oneself. The angels are watching you, not just in your waiting, but in your daily choices to keep your light shining, even when the world outside insists on dimming it. They whisper, she needs to remember herself, so that he can remember what love is. Because sometimes, in the name of the other, you forget yourself. And that forgetting is a more cruel abandonment than any absence. This journey is not just about what he feels, or when he will declare himself. It's about you remembering that you are already whole, even before any story materializes. That you are already deserving of love, even if no one declares it out loud. Caring for yourself now is a sacred act. Not as an escape, but as a reverence. Because you also carry your own pains. You have also believed in loves that didn't know how to stay. You have also molded yourself too much to fit into others' affections. And now, the heavens ask you to choose differently. You are not here to save anyone. You are here to be a beacon. To shine, yes, but not to the point of being consumed by someone else's fire. Your light is far too precious to be used merely as a patch. And the angels want you to remember, when she chooses herself, she teaches the other to do the same. Do not dim your light out of fear of losing. True love does not thrive in darkness. It flourishes in the presence of two souls that see each other and recognize each other, without haste, without pressure, without losing themselves. This person may not yet know how to love you completely, but you already know how to embrace yourself fully. And that changes everything. The journey does not call for sacrifices. It calls for awareness. It calls for presence. And it asks that, above all, you do not give up your essence for an affection that is still learning to take root. Be a refuge for yourself. Look at your own wounds with the same tenderness you have shown toward theirs. Because there are parts of you that are still waiting for you. There are your pains that deserve comfort before they are replaced by promises. You are a temple. And this love, if it is real, will learn to enter barefoot. So, take care of your body, your mind, your spirit. Nourish your faith, your intuition, your truth. Not to prove anything to anyone, but to continue being who you are, light. And light, even when it is not understood, never goes unnoticed. The angels say, she is the answer and doesn't even know it yet. But they know. And you will begin to remember too. There is a mirror between you. Invisible, yet real. A reflection that goes far beyond appearance. One that touches essence, revealing what both of you have hidden from the world for so long. And that is why it sometimes hurts. Because seeing yourself in the other is confronting what we have avoided within ourselves. You illuminate him, without even knowing it. And instead of enchanting him immediately, it disarms him. Because your light exposes the shadows he fought so hard to bury. You reflect everything he tried to ignore, the tenderness he suppressed, the dreams he abandoned, the faith he lost. And the angels say, when she smiles, he remembers what he lost. When she looks at him, he sees himself. And this moves him. And this scares him. Many times, he tried to put you into the box of relationships he's lived. He tried to rationalize, compare, reduce the feeling to something familiar. But he couldn't. Because you don't fit. Because what exists between you is not an old frame. It's new. It's rare. It's uncomfortable, in the best way. The love he feels wasn't meant to fit what he already knew. And that's why he hesitates. Because loving you requires him to grow. It demands he step out of the emotional comfort zone where he's always concealed himself. And you, even without realizing it, compel him to see himself. Not with judgment, but with truth. Your presence is like a clean mirror, where he sees not just who he is, but who he can be. And that kind of vision is unforgettable. It doesn't fade away. Maybe you think nothing is happening, that everything is stagnant. But in the invisible, a revolution is taking place inside him. Every word of yours he attempted to forget echoes louder when he is silent. Each absence of yours hurts more than he admits. Because the mirror can't be shattered, it can only be avoided for a time. And the more he tries to escape, the more he confronts his inner image. The one you've imprinted not on his skin, but on his soul. This kind of love is alchemy. It transforms. It demands. And most importantly, it reveals. And you, with your loving clarity, are revealing to him what it means to love wholly. And you're also revealing to yourself what it means to be a beacon, not to guide the other, but to not lose yourself. This dance between light and shadow is sacred. It's not about fixing anyone. It's about being who you are, with such honesty that the other person has to reconsider who they have been. You are the mirror in which he sees himself. And for the first time, he does not want to look away. There are signs. Small, almost imperceptible. But they are everywhere, like footprints left by a soul that is slowly trying to find itself. And the angels say, she is seeing it before he even understands. Because her sensitivity picks up on what has yet to be said, what has not yet formed into words. He is awakening. Not like in a dramatic movie, with grand gestures and urgent confessions. But like the morning that gradually announces itself, slowly opening its eyes, recognizing the light after a long time in the dark. Perhaps you have felt it. A gaze that lingered longer. A message sent without apparent reason. A silence that feels lighter than before. These are subtleties that, in the eyes of the spirit, speak more than any speech. This awakening is spiritual, not just emotional. He is starting to realize that there is something greater in all of this. That this connection is not just chemical or affinity. It is destiny. It is a mission. It is a meeting scheduled long before this time. The angels show that he is revisiting his own story, recalling moments, re-evaluating choices. And in each memory, your presence appears like a line of light weaving through the knots of the past. You are the turning point. Not because you demand it, but because your existence invites, without uttering a single word, change, evolution, a return to what is true. It is a slow process. And it is perfect as it is. Because he is not just waking up to love. He is waking up to himself. He is seeing himself differently. He is slowly understanding that to love is not to lose control, but to make room for something greater than the ego can comprehend. The angels say, she has arrived, and with her gaze, she revealed a world he had forgotten. And now, even without knowing what to do with all of this, he feels. And for him, feeling is already a revolution. Don't expect rehearsed declarations. Expect truth. Expect small gestures with a big soul. Expect a shift in energy. Expect presence. Because this is what begins to emerge when the heart awakens. And you, with your keen intuition, will recognize each step, even the most timid ones. There's a new era approaching. A time when he will begin to move in your direction, not because he feels pressured, but because he has finally understood that the place where the soul rests is where you are. There's a cycle. A subtle rhythm that makes you feel as if you're always in the same spot. Sometimes close, sometimes distant, sometimes full of hope, sometimes exhausted. And no matter how much it seems like an emotional maze, the angels reveal, it's not repetition. It's refinement. His soul is still being molded to receive the love you are already ready to give. This dance of approach and retreat, of intense messages followed by inexplicable silences, is not a game. It's a defense mechanism from a soul that wants to love, but still hides from what it feels. He returns because he misses you. And he pulls away because he fears being seen completely. You are not losing your mind. Nor are you overly needy. What you feel is real. What he feels is real too. But there is a struggle within him between the desire to surrender and the urge to flee. The angels say, she is the home he never had. And because of that, he doesn't know how to inhabit it. Loving someone like you means confronting everything he has avoided for years. Intimacy, surrender, truth. And there are days when he believes he can handle it. But there are others when fear speaks louder. This back and forth is painful. It's as if you are constantly opening the door and waiting for him to come in. But sometimes, all he can do is look through the window and pull back. And still, he comes back. He always comes back. Because there's something in you that pulls him in. That calls to him. That reminds him of who he really is, even when he insists on forgetting. You represent a new chance. And for someone who has always protected himself from feeling too much, that's almost a threat. Loving you means tearing down old walls. It means stepping out of survival mode. It means truly living. And living is scary. But the angels ask for patience. They say that each cycle brings a little more healing. That with every return, he comes back less armed. That with each absence, he dives deeper into himself. This back and forth isn't disinterest. It's fear. And fear doesn't disappear in an instant, but it dissolves with constant love, with serene presence, with a truth that doesn't demand but invites. Keep being you. Stay strong in your light. Because your stability is what shows him that it's possible not to run away, not to pretend, not to back down. Your clarity is what is teaching him, day by day, to draw closer. Not out of impulse, but by choice. And this cycle, which today seems like a repetition, will tomorrow be remembered as a path. Some loves come like a whisper. Others, like a cure. And this one, the one that was born between you, is both. But above all, it is medicine. Not the kind that comes in bottles or formulas, but the kind that touches the spirit, that regenerates without being noticed, that acts even in silence. You may not see it, but your presence is a remedy. The way you listen to him, even without answers. The way you don't demand, even while missing him. The way you stay whole, even being half of the story. All of this has healed parts of him that have been dormant for a long time. The angels say, she touches him where no words reach. And it's true. Your love is that rare kind, that doesn't invade, but embraces. That doesn't impose, but reveals. That doesn't force, but awakens. This love has been a balm for a weary soul tired of pretending to be strong. He, behind the masks and silences, feels a relief every time he thinks of you. It's as if he has finally found a place where he doesn't have to be more than he is. Even if he doesn't say it. Even if you never hear those words from his lips. His heart whispers. His body responds. His energy shifts when he's close to you. Because true love doesn't need a stage. It operates behind the scenes. It heals in the subtext. It occurs where no one sees. And you have been that sanctuary. Unbeknownst to you, you have been the pause in the internal war he fights. You have offered, through gestures, through looks, through silence, the chance for him to feel accepted, even when imperfect. To feel seen, even when he tries to hide. Maybe he's still confused. Maybe he's still afraid. But what he feels for you is vital energy. It's like water for a plant that had already given up on growing. It's oxygen amidst the emotional suffocation he has learned to normalize. And you, with all the love you pour out, are not just healing him. You are healing yourself too. Because by loving with this tenderness, you are reminding yourself that you deserve to be loved the same way. This love is medicine. And the process might be slow, but it is sacred. Because it heals. Because it touches the untouchable. Because it rescues what seemed lost. The angels are there with hands outstretched, saying, what she offers is divine. And what is divine, even if it's not immediately understood, never goes unnoticed. There is an invisible thread guiding all of this. Something greater than desires, greater than fear, greater than any obstacle that may still stand between you. The angels say, everything is being guided. Nothing is outside the plan. And that's why, even with so much back and forth, you feel that there's a deeper meaning to it all. Have you ever wondered why you couldn't walk away? Why, even when trying to distance yourself, something always pulls you back to that feeling? It's not just about wanting. It's about being chosen, high above, as part of a plan that is now beginning to unfold. God has orchestrated every detail. The timing, the encounters, the silences, the lessons learned. Everything has a purpose, and it's being directed by hands that see beyond what you can currently understand. You are a channel of healing. And he is too. But for this healing to be complete, both of you must traverse your own deserts. And that's what's happening. He is being led to confront what he has avoided for so long. You are being called to trust even without guarantees. There is a spiritual cycle in motion. And even though the plan seems slow, nothing is stagnant. Nothing is lost. His soul is awakening. Yours is being strengthened. And the bond between you is solidifying, even if it still feels fragile. The angels show you in prayer. In silence. In the nights when you asked for signs, answers, direction. And they listened. Every tear you've shed has been collected like a seed. And now, the first answers are starting to sprout. You were not put on this path to suffer. You were placed here to bring light. To show that true love does not control, does not imprison, does not demand. It waits. It trusts. It transforms. And that is what you are doing, even without realizing it. Keep trusting. Not in human timing, but in God's timing. Because when He guides, no promise is lost. No truth is ignored. No heart is forgotten. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. The road may seem long, but it is being paved with purpose. And what awaits at the end of it is much greater than you can imagine. It's time to talk about the pain that comes before love. That pain which doesn't shout, but weighs heavily. It doesn't reveal itself, yet it eats away inside. Because loving when you're afraid is like walking through a minefield. And the angels whisper, she feels but he fears. And that fear isn't rejection, it's trauma. It's memory. It's an old wound that still bleeds. This person wants to love. That is real. But they still don't know how to let love in without bringing along everything they've learned to hide. They don't fear you, they fear what love in you triggers, vulnerability. And being vulnerable, for someone who has always survived by maintaining control, is terrifying. You are the first one who doesn't require masks. The first one who isn't scared of the shadows. The one who sees beyond the defensive behaviors and still chooses to stay. The angels say, she sees him as he has never been seen before. And being seen like that, without filters, without emotional makeup, can be scarier than any abandonment. That's why he hesitates. He goes silent. He makes excuses. He distances himself. But all of this is a reaction, not to the absence of feeling, but to the overwhelming presence of it. Perhaps you felt this in your own skin, the sense that he comes close to a certain point, but when he gets too close, he pulls back as if something in you is dangerous. But what's truly dangerous is what he feels. It's what you represent, the chance to love for real. And loving for real means shedding the armor. It means saying, I don't know, help me feel, teach me to stay. And he is still learning to accept that he doesn't need to know everything. That he doesn't need to control love to be worthy of it. You have already seen his soul. You have glimpsed the beauty behind the fears. You have recognized his heart even when he tried to hide it. And that's why you're still here, not out of dependency, but out of intuition. Because something in you knows that it's not over yet. And the angels confirm, it's not over. It's just the beginning. And every new beginning requires breaking down the old structures. He's in that process. Sometimes in silence. Sometimes in conflict. But he is. Maybe he still doesn't have the courage to say, I love you. But one day he will. And when he does, it won't be just any declaration. It will be an act of courage. Of surrender. Of truth. Vulnerability is scary. But it also liberates. And he is closer to freedom than he has ever been. Now, dear soul, we arrive at the point where everything converges, acceptance. Not the kind that comes as resignation, but as peace. Like someone who looks up at the sky after the storm and realizes that, even with the clouds still dancing, the light has returned to touch their skin. You did everything you could. You loved without intruding. You waited without losing yourself. You believed even when silence shouted the loudest. And now it's time to let go. Not out of defeat, but out of wisdom. The angels say, she surrendered with faith what she could not control. And that is the greatest gesture of love there is. Letting go without losing hope. Trusting without guarantees. Keeping your heart open even without promises. This person feels. They always have. And now they're dealing with it. Alone. In their own time. In their own silences. You planted what needed to be planted. You touched where you needed to touch. And everything that was true remains. Nothing that was real is lost. Nothing done with a heart disappears. His soul recognizes yours. And even if he hasn't come back yet, even if he hasn't said anything, he knows. He knows who you are. And you also know who you are. And that is the greatest gift of this entire journey. Acceptance is not giving up. It is trusting that the right love, the one with purpose, the one anointed by the heavens, always finds its way. Even if that path is crooked. Even if it takes time. Even if it needs to be redone 1,000 times before it materializes. You are safe in the arms of something greater. You are protected. You are guided. And the angels celebrate now around you, because they see your soul lifted, even after everything. You are ready. To live, to receive, to carry on. With or without him by your side now, what is yours remains secure in divine hands. Everything is right. Everything is on its way. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Let go. Trust. Breathe. What is meant to be yours will come, and it will come with peace.